Hey, Nick.
Hey, Chase.
It's that time again.
What time is it?
Time for
Fuck This Place!
See, Chase, people talk to you. People talk to you.
only complain.
Yeah, HR over here.
Yeah, tech issues only.
HR.
I was
Oh yeah.
I was like, if we're talking about quitting jobs, I think that you guys were like, John Ross quits every job he's ever had. I don't know if you guys.
He's got a new job. He has a new job, John Ross. He posted on his Instagram. We shared it to our Insta stories. So congrats to John if you're listening. This is Chase, by the way.
Start the clock.
Yeah. We'll see how long he lasts.
You'll know he doesn't have that job anymore when he posts another video of him playing the guitar.
Wow. Cruel.
That's oh damn.
Well, maybe I should intro the podcast now. Welcome to the Fuck This Place, the podcast about jobs with Chase and Nick. My name is in fact Chase.
My name is in fact Nick because I am the Nick of Nick and Chase, and with us today is a comic, another NorCal boy, just one of the best guys. When I asked him what he wanted for his intro, he told me he recently got his braces off. But
big move.
Shooting from the hip here, I just think he's so fucking funny. Just every time I've seen him on stage or just hanging out, just makes me laugh so much. Used to produce a show with him and Stephen Fury called Industry. It was the best show you never went to. And he's here with us today, the wonderful Jon Gomora. Oh man, is that an Industry poster you have?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's strictly for the YouTubers to see that.
That's you guys got to log on to This Place Podcast YouTube.com.
Oh
man,
this
that's
place.
so cool.
This is the original one. I got a couple of the flyers I used to do framed. I got to take that off my retainer. I'm sorry. I thought it'd be funny. I don't wear it enough to avoid the lisp. But yeah, I got a couple of the show flyers that I did made, and now it's just a graveyard essentially.
From
relics of what once was. John, I think it actually is a big move that you got your braces off. I personally have never had braces, and I have slightly crooked teeth, and I'm very self-conscious about it. So I'm very proud of you for doing adult dental work.
Adult dental work.
Yeah.
It's last
Adult
year
onset.
I used to do this thing called stand up, and there was a joke that I did because last year I was in community college. I was learning guitar, which was like a New Year's resolution I set for myself, and paying off braces and on Accutane. So I was like, I identify as a 14-year-old boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
And that joke crushed.
That joke fucking every time, dude.
Well, John, our first segment on every podcast is a segment that we actually like to call Fuck This Place ? Where we decide if we would work somewhere or not. Okay. And so we looked up some Craigslist posts from the Sacramento area from which you hail, is my understanding. And what we're going to do is I'm going to read 3 Craigslist job titles. You'll pick the one you don't want to look at, and then we'll look at the other 2, just like you're clicking around on Craigslist. Okay. So first job title is Sonic Drive-In Operating Partner / General Manager. Okay. Number 2 is looking for a new number 1, that's in quotes, number 1 is in quotes, for my online business. And then number 3 is get paid for texting. So which one do you not want to click on? The texting, looking for a new number 1, quote, or Sonic Drive-In Operating Partner / General Manager? Okay,
so we're going to break this down. We have
please.
I took notes. So get paid to text. I 100% just assume it's phone banking.
Well,
that's what I'm assuming.
That's a pretty good assumption. I would guess the same thing.
Which honestly is terrible. I fuck with all the people when they phone bank. I remember getting them for Bernie and being like, if you text me again, I'm voting for Trump. And they're like, have a good day. And then looking for a new business number 1, of course, we're going to pick that one. We're going to dive into that. We're going to look into that. We're going to see what we can bring to the company.
Absolutely.
Sonic General Manager. I mean, I'm moralistically against being a general manager because it's how they trap you. I think that that person, whoever decides to become a general manager of a Sonic, is fool.
They're in a tough spot. We'll say that at the bare minimum.
But I'm gonna say let's get rid of get paid to get texting.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, and we'll do the first 2.
Yeah, fuck that place. Okay, well, you know what? Since we know, Sonic feels like a tough sell. Let's start with that one, and we'll see how far we get here. Okay, so post number 1: Sonic drive-in operating partner / general manager does not actually. I would honestly think there's not a lot of text to this post. I would honestly expect there to be more, just because it just seems like you would have more to say. But anyway, there's like 6 or 7 lines of text, no pictures, and it says fast-growing Sonic Drive-In franchisee, aka owner, in Central Valley is looking for an experienced and ambitious restaurant manager to join as a operating partner, not a operating partner for Sonic Drive-In restaurants. And then it says looking for a Sonic Drive-In operating partner, which is what they said already. Then the next line says must have over 5 years experience as a manager for Sonic Drive-In restaurants. That seems like a high bar, but maybe not. Very strong restaurant management and people's skills required. Must be detail-oriented person with great communication skills. Must be very organized and ambitious to grow with the brand of Sonic. They're pretty grown, I'd say. But job offers base pay with profit-sharing partnership and potential of managing multiple restaurants. Relocation assistance offered. Compensation, okay? 50 to 70K plus profit sharing. And of course, employment type is full-time. That is the post.
Am I supposed to start?
No, we're just soaking it in.
Yeah.
Right now.
Nothing elicits more fear than this type of post.
Okay. Yeah. It
Yeah,
does feel like a bit of a prison, sure.
It's also weird that he's looking for strangers when he should know someone else that works there, right?
That's what I was going to say. This person is a fast-growing Sonic Drive-In franchisee, which means this person, if they're growing, that means that they have at least one other Sonic, right? Possibly more, right?
Yes.
So do they not know other Sonic people? Like, do they not have someone they could hire from within or
Yeah.
you know,
Like you've never walked into another Sonic in the last 5 years and seen the same guy twice.
I mean,
Like,
no.
there's no one to
definitely
ask.
Not. Of course, there's no one to ask.
Like it's just go into another Sonic in your town and then say, "Hey, how long have you worked here?" Oh, 5 years. Like just
come on, get in my truck. We're gonna go.
Yeah.
You're gonna be my operating partner.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I've never been inside of a Sonic. Never once.
I have. I've for sure
driven past a Sonic. I think do they still do the roller skating?
Absolutely, they do, but they don't. You know, they do. They it's a thing, but it's only a thing if you choose it. Like I actually, this is a super weird story, but when I was, and I find this really despicable now that I'm recalling it. When I was in high school and I was in youth group, we would try and raise money for like our summer trips, right? We'd go to like San Antonio and work in like a kids thing, or we like one time we went to Guatemala or whatever. So we one of the fundraisers we did, and I think this is probably the worst results and also the worst feeling one, was we literally just went to a Sonic and like helped. like you know how they bring food out to you or whatever. We did that. Like, but we weren't wearing a Sonic uniform or anything. They were just like, I think maybe there was a hat or like a hairnet or something involved, and they literally like would just be like that, that fucking Suburban over there ordered like 1 million fries and this chili cheese dog. Go bring it to them. Yeah. And we just walked in our regular shoes in regular clothes. And then the fundraising element of this was not that like we were getting X amount for it. It was that we would collect tips. And as we all know, nobody tips at Sonic because why the fuck would you? It's a fast food restaurant. And so, we would literally get like cents from people, and then we added it to this pile of not much money. And we did that for several hours. And I just think that we cut someone's shift, you know, the 5 of us or 10 of us or however many there were.
It sounds like you were kidnapped and then just made to work.
I think, okay, wait, this is for school?
No, this is for church, even worse.
Church.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I think.
So one of the pastors obviously had a fast-growing Sonic drive-in franchise.
Yeah.
And was like, honestly, if I can get out of paying these kids or get out of paying like real
anybody,
people,
correct?
Anybody.
Yeah, it's weird that you were a part of someone else's harebrained scheme.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, the more I look back on it, I'm like, we're fucking at least one person, if not 2, out of like actual shift money, like real hourly wages that we're not working.
Yeah.
And 2, we didn't get that money for our trip. Like we made way more from the pancake breakfast. You know,
he was. Thank God these little kids showed up.
Literally, thank Jesus.
There was a haggard manager for Sonic Drive-In Restaurants operating partner who's been there for 5 years. Who's like, thank God for these kids.
Yeah, we provided much needed respite to that person.
Yeah, there was like a Carl's Jr. guy across the street that he's competing with that he saw like all those kids. He was like, damn, this guy's good. This guy's real good. He's got kids working for him now.
So, I'm just saying, if any of us took this job, you could figure out a scheme like that. You could probably get 1 Saturday a month where you don't have to pay somebody.
I got a question, because I have also never been inside of a Sonic. I have eaten Sonic's food twice in my life.
I've been at Sonic so many times.
If you're a manager, do you have to wear roller skates? Because like I imagine like if you get a complaint and then the manager also comes out in roller skates.
I would think that the manager is wearing roller blades.
Oh, roller blades?
Because they're the cool ones.
Like, yeah, like it just, and like you're kind of like, hey, your cashier was a real fucking prick to me, and he's like, but he's like doing that thing where he's skating in a circle but not going anywhere, you know?
Yeah, and his feet are sideways somehow.
Yeah. Just.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say, in actuality, probably not. I think that you probably, as John has identified a long time ago, for sure the least fun job there. And you just have to fucking shit on people. Like that's your job. Is to shit on people for this guy.
Yeah. You gotta I don't know. I don't want a part of any job where like I have to roller skate. I can roller skate literally to save my life, but I can't hold a tray and then listen to like working at the car wash or whatever they're playing at the time, I can't do it. Yeah. So I'm out.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, there is a part of me that would just love to craft an elaborate narrative that is like, I have been managing a Wendy's out in the San Gabriel Valley for the past 5 years, looking for a change of pace. I would love to come and work, get them to relocation assistance me, and then move into a studio bedroom in the Stockton area near Market Street, and just get in there and try to help these kids.
Just start a new
life. These 16-year-old kids who are like trying to like work the fryers and roller skate. Just really have a really good bonding time.
Just try and be an example for them. You're like, look, it doesn't matter. You can be embarrassed. Like I got my braces. Like we're fine.
Exactly. And like I think the good thing about a general manager is tough love. And
Absolutely.
you just gotta. You really gotta.
It's all about values. I would say that the one thing that is actually tough about your story is you say you've been a manager at a Wendy's for 5 years, and this guy wants a manager for Sonic drive-in restaurants. Right. I guess my question is, what? They're talking about relocations. Like, what Sonic manager in Omaha? Is just like looking through Craigslist, like I got to get out of here, and the only ticket is me doing more of the thing that I'm trying to get out of.
Go west, young man.
Or I don't know how many like really cool locations I've seen Sonics in. It's not like we're gonna relocate you to the Sonics in Honolulu. I don't think there's like
Sonic Belize.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
There's a Sonic at the top of the tallest building in Dubai. Would you believe it?
Oh man, what a destination! Or like where they have one of those little like clear slides that make it feel like you're out like over the edge of the building, but it's just like you're sitting on a sack on a clear slide.
You're just rolling tater tots down that slide.
Well, so John, you're like on the fence of just like maybe I do want to start over.
Maybe I do need to start over,
raise some
but
kids.
I think I raise some of these children. But like that is interesting. You need specifically manager experience from Sonic Restaurant Drive-In.
From Sonic specifically. Yeah.
And it's like it's like a gas station. You're like, sorry, you need 7-Eleven experience. We're not
Right.
looking for Chevron with Chevron experience.
Yeah.
I think this is one of those scenarios, and I don't think
Yeah.
we've talked about this enough on this podcast, but this is one of those things that like would turn away if I'm genuinely interested in this, and I am absolutely not. But let's say that I am. That like this is a place where a lot of people turn around of like, oh, I should be a manager for some. This is actually just like probably a preferred qualification. Like you could sell yourself probably if you've been a Wendy's manager for 2 years, for real, you could lie and say it was 3, right?
Mhm.
Maybe even lie and say it was 4, right?
Stretch it.
And you could get your foot in the door,
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, a little
after
pro
he
interview
gets-
tip there. Just lie a little.
Like after he gets no replies to this for 17 years, he'll crack. He'll crack.
yeah, he'll
take someone
stoop
else.
down to
Yeah,
Jack in
yeah,
the Box
yeah.
level.
He's not going to have his like no favors from the mountaintops attitude about people who worked at a Wendy's or whatever.
Like ideally, you'd want somebody with Sonic driving experience because they have like experience, like I don't know, breaking their leg,
Right.
roller skating, tater tots to
Yeah.
an Elantra.
They can
But-
move with a splint in their arm or whatever.
Yeah, just setting someone's femur back in place after they slipped on a Route 44 slushy. I love those fucking slushies. By the way, that's
A Route 44. What is in a Route
44 is just the size. It's 44 ounces
Route
of slushy,
44.
dude. It's
Dude,
so
Sonic is fuck. Does Sonic exist in current timeline Earth?
Absolutely. It exists in Wally timeline Earth for sure.
I feel like it's
Wow.
parallel Earth. Parallel
Oh,
Earth. is where Sonic
There
is
was a
big.
summer in high school where I had a friend, and our goal was to do 44 Route 44s before the summer was over. I made it to 22, which I felt like that's kind of the half marathon,
Yeah.
Okay.
He made it to
And-
44.
Is he
And
dead?
you lost your foot.
yeah. And I lost my foot to jaundice. So I'm gonna say fuck this place because I've already worked at a
fuck this
Sonic.
place.
I guess.
Yeah, I do think Nick is right though. There is an alternate timeline because I've only ever seen a Sonic on like the interstate, the I-5, and you're
Mhm.
driving and you're
Mhm.
like, oh, we would have to get off at this exit
Mhm.
that is the time ripple that you
Yeah,
go
it could be a
through.
mirage.
Yeah. Every Sonic has a man in a suit smoking a cigarette outside of it.
With like the briefcase is like a time travel thing. Okay,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
We're getting out of here. Fuck this place. Okay,
Dude,
number.
we're gonna get a write in from someone who loves Sonic. That's
We
just gonna
sure
fucking
are. I
trash
can't
me.
wait. So the next title is looking for a new number one for my online business. Okay, and number one, and that's interesting. Both jobs are number ones so far. Like, I mean, number one to actually number two. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about it later. No pictures.
Mhm.
And the post begins. I run a somewhat successful online dog supply business out of my home.
Hi, I'm just okay.
Yeah. That's what this is the sentence this person says at every party if they're ever invited.
Yeah. This sounds like no. That's the answer if someone asks you when you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be like modest to come out with that out of the gate. I'm saying less than somewhat successful.
Somewhat successful online dog supply business, not like food. Anyway,
Mhm.
this is a long-term, permanent position. Long-term, you say? Okay.
Mhm.
Looking for someone trustworthy, intelligent, and with a very good work ethic.
I'm out.
Yeah. They didn't even say that for the Sonic thing. Computer savvy is a must, but it's not all we do here. I agree.
Okay.
Maybe you pet dogs. It would also help if you have experience making listings on online marketplaces and or experience making web pages. Yeah, it is an online business. That does make sense.
Mhm.
We mainly sell online, so online sales experience would be helpful, but the job description goes something like this. Okay.
Do you think he had a quota for how many times he was going to say online?
I
in
think
his
so.
post?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he thought that maybe like
Mhm.
he's heard of SEO, search engine optimization. He's just like, I bet you if I just say online a bunch and
Mhm.
someone's searching online job dog, they're gonna
Mhm.
find me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's the list: printing and processing orders, directing and controlling the packers. That sounds like you got to be mean. Training the packers. Okay, fine. Could have said that first. Expediting shipments. Expediting. I guess that means just like paying more for them to go faster. Computer work. Now this we'll get back to it. I'm gonna say nothing. Computer work, updating inventory and making listings. And then it says, and this is probably the most confusing sentence so far, comprehensive behavior every day. Comprehensive covers everything. What? Just like, okay, it doesn't. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Then, and this is, to me, sounds a little insulting here. This job has a $15 an hour training period with the possibility of a salary, profit sharing, and a percentage of the business if you, quote unquote, take the reins. This person loves quotes, and run the business.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that a lot.
For me, is a no question. And then it says, please respond with your resume and thank you! Exclamation point. And of course, again, in the conversation box, it does reiterate, which is nice that they're not lowballing you anywhere here. I mean, they are lowballing you, but they're not lowballing you anymore. It says $15 an hour for a 1 month training. Then a negotiable salary. Employment type is full time. You're gonna give me health insurance on this fucking dog store? I don't know. Dude,
I'm immediately out with that take the reins and run the business thing because is like you have a boss that is disappointed in you kind of
also thing. Also it's in their house, so you're taking the reins and they just come down in their like slippers in the morning like how's the reins, bitch.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It is out of my home is what it says. And so they're in a bathroom.
I'm taking the reins. I run the kitchen now. You're not allowed in the kitchen. Kitchen is my department.
But my question is, and logistically, if you're running out of your home, they've also got packers that need controlling, directing, and training. My hope is that the online part is out of the house, and then there's like a warehouse that they're renting somewhere instead of the packers arrive at the garage or something.
I draw serious concern with controlling the packers.
Controlling the packers.
What? Yeah. That's an odd vocabulary choice.
Yeah, I also that we haven't really. I didn't really notice at the beginning here is the title is looking for a new number one for my online business, which means to say this
implication of an old number one.
What happened to the number one?
Where is historic Roseville? I know where Roseville is. I've been to Roseville, but historic Roseville.
I think it's just a part of Roseville.
Yeah, it's really a part of Roseville that is like just like brick buildings. Like it's just like the older part of it. It's like
it's historic, you could say. If you want it to.
It's probably like a courthouse and a coffee shop, and that's it.
Yeah. One tiny house with one firefighter inside. Like, this person, new number one, take the reins of the business, controlling the Packers. This guy or gal sounds like a fucking nightmare. Like they sound terrible to work for.
Worse than our Sonic drive-in operating partner for some reason.
Yeah, because I think that guy was just lame. He's just like a loser. Like this person sounds like they're gonna yell at you. They're gonna make you feel bad. They're gonna try to berate you. Like, and at the end of the day, it's your fault for not taking initiative. I fucking can already tell that this person, if you take the reins, is gonna give you shit until
they're gonna have problems with the reins.
You're getting a text message at 3:30 in the morning that says the Packers are loose.
Yeah.
And you've got to control them. And
they just send you
you're
videos
like a
of
sheepdog now.
Send you videos of like tiny people running around in small fires and stuff like that. It's like, you call this control?
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree that this person says that they want, because there are, I'm sure, some situations, and they're kind of, I think, hard to come by, where there is an actual owner who actually wants nothing to do with the business, and once you just like do your thing, right, and you just for some reason make less money than them.
I will.
You just work there, and that's fine, maybe. But this is not. That person isn't actually like that. This person is who claims to want that and is a control freak.
Well, let's play the devil's advocate, because I do think that, like, best case scenario, this is an old white woman who is still a terror, but she had somebody who's probably like a younger girl, let's say Molly, who
Molly.
worked for maybe like 3 years. You know, she
Yeah.
really liked, you know, she loves dogs and it's just like a fun
That's
little
true.
thing. And then she had to go to do law school. She was going to law school and she's
Yep.
really excited to go and she had to break away. But then if you were to include a paragraph that's like, I'm 68-year-old white woman who with really, really long stringy hair.
Yeah,
who
and I
loves
miss my
dogs,
Molly.
and Molly's gone.
Mhm.
And well, Molly's going to law school and I'm really excited. And if you add in all of that extra information,
Mhm.
you become the craziest person on.
Yeah, it's a
Craigslist.
creepy
Yeah,
post.
yeah,
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
creepy post. So it's like
Uh-huh.
powered down. Best case scenario, I think that is what we're operating with.
I think
That
you're
she's
right.
still a terror, but like she did have somebody who was just moving on.
And an
But-
important best case scenario part of that is that for Molly, this really worked for Molly because Molly was into dogs and maybe she was living at her parents' house. She didn't need that much money, but it was like pretty nice to have.
It
like,
just
a little more independent.
worked for Molly.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, but I also feel like Molly probably had to put up with a lot. Molly's not real, right? I was like quickly scanning this.
Molly is texting this podcast
Okay.
right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Molly's not real,
Mhm.
Molly.
but maybe she is. You know, if
Maybe
you
she
believe.
But no, I mean, good for Molly. I wish her nothing but the best. She's probably make a pretty strong lawyer if she's been able to put.
Well,
up with
she's
this,
going
but,
into corporate law, so she's
yeah.
gonna be kind of an asshole. About
Worst
it.
case scenario,
okay.
Molly is in a basement of a historic Roseville home.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Molly's been
Oh
trapped
man,
for a
tough
while.
break for Molly.
And she's eating dog food. A lot
With all those
of
dog
food.
kennels, she's not getting out.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's true. She's in some kind of a weird saw trap right now.
Yeah. Well, Molly, if
Yeah.
you're listening to this, you know,
God bless you, Molly. Thinking of you,
let
Molly.
us know if you can. We'll figure something out. But yeah, I agree that it's got to work for the person. It's a very unique situation.
Mhm.
I'm for sure not that Molly. So yeah, I'm gonna say fuck this place.
Yeah, fuck this place. I'm out.
Fuck this place.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
Wanted to remind you that you can text the podcast anytime you want.
Night or day, whenever the hell you want.
It's fine. It's the number is 470 bad jobs. The actual numbers are 470-223-5627. That's the number.
So yeah, anytime you want. Like I said, middle of the night, whenever. We don't got jobs right now. Whatever's going on with you is going on with us.
I mean, absolutely. Maybe you still have a job and it's like shitty. You can tell us about that. Maybe you don't have a job and it was shitty before.
Maybe you're getting one of those weird temperature forehead checks right now.
For sure.
And you want to pull out your phone and just say, you know what, fuck you guys. I'm going to text 470 bad jobs.
470-223-5627 is the number. That is the number. And you can also call us if you want, but I mean, whatever. It's your choice. That's the point here.
So, John, what's the first job you ever had?
I was an assistant at this California State Treasurer's office.
You were an assistant, like an office assistant?
Yeah, at the California State Treasurer's office.
All right.
Really?
Yeah,
How old
that's
were
like
you?
a
real
weird one.
Sacramento kid gig.
I was 16. 16.
Was this like was this paired with school in any way?
No, it was really weird because I did it during I guess right towards the end of the year. So most of the summer I was working 40-hour work weeks. But it was cool. I lived outside of downtown Sacramento and I thought it was so cool to be a city person.
Right.
I wanted a job that I could go to the city, and I ass backwards fell into the state treasurer's job. So I would every morning at 7 o'clock I would get on the light rail, the metro line, and take it into the city, and it takes you directly across the street from the Capitol. And I would get off with all these sad 40-year-old women with Skechers sneakers, the rolling ones that Kim Kardashian made that said "shape up your butt," and we'd all waddle our asses to.
Wait, you were wearing them too?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, nice.
When in Rome.
Me and the girls? Yeah, me and the girls. But I worked at the state treasurer's office, the third floor, the SIDLAC department, which was department of allocations for multifamily housing.
Oh wow!
Wow.
It's
No, I know it is. It's very interesting. How did you get How did you get that job?
Yeah.
Apply,
It's just
or-
like, what do you mean you weren't working at McDonald's?
Yeah, I know. I was actually like, the joke was is that I'm actually like very insecure about my employment history. Yeah, that's actually really funny that I did not work at McDonald's because it was my parents' landlord. She worked at
Got it.
the state treasurer's office.
Got it. And
like,
so she was
"Hey."
just like, "Well, John looks cute. I could get him a job." You know?
Exactly. Like I dressed like in like slacks and not like baggy jeans or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you fit in. And then I worked there for like 9 months before the state budget cuts. I lost my job, but it was like pretty interesting because you would get 2 15-minute breaks and an hour lunch.
Yeah.
And when I went into other jobs, I was like, when do I take my 15? And they're like, you mean you're 10? And I was like,
government work. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was not cut out.
When do I
for
take my
just
hour
10-minute
lunch?
breaks.
Yeah,
You're a half-hour lunch, you piece of shit.
You were like, you're like, this is cool. 2 15-minute breaks and an hour lunch. I'm only working a 5-hour shift.
Oh,
Like,
barely.
They were like,
Barely.
no, sir, you're gonna be working all 5 of those hours. Okay, so what exactly were you doing in there?
So I did an archiving project, basically, that entailed, there's these big folders of allocation agreements back to the 80s up until like 2011 or whatever, that were, they had year terms that they were responsible for the funds. And it was usually like, I'd have to go through and find all of the dates and the terms and then input them into an Excel spreadsheet. And I did that every day for 9 months.
Holy shit.
Oh, wow.
And so it would be like, they'd be like, oh, we have to get those. They're like, that's a 1995 box. You have to get that from the warehouse. So it would just be like stacks and stacks and stacks of boxes. And anytime there was like a discrepancy, I'd have to take it to my boss and be like, I don't understand what's happening. And she's like, oh, we have to ask the oldest lady at the state treasurer's office. She's been here since 1974. And then you'd like crawl up to the top floor and there's this decrepit lady who like, she's like, oh, I remember this one. We said that it's fine.
Oh my God. And then you just went back down and went back to it. Were there ever, did you ever find any discrepancies or she was like, I remember that fucking piece of shit? like did she go down memory lane with you or was it really just kind of?
It was really, I mean, basically no one at the job had any personalities other than being cold.
Sure.
It was like, it's so cold in the office. In July, I have to bring a sweater.
Yeah. You mean there's air conditioning? Yeah.
Yeah. It was an interesting mix of people though, because I think the team was like 10 people. Like there was like 2 or 3 like adult assistants and then like just like old people.
Yeah.
Just really. And I was like, why am I here? But it was cool. I had like a little pass that I could buzz in and like get into the office and like
Feels cool.
sneak around. Yeah. It was dope.
Back to this old lady at the top of this thing. So
yeah, this old lady in her tower that's like separate from all the ones, like in like a Sauron like sort of
yeah.
like an eye
Like,
that sees everything.
I guess what I'm asking is, what's the general interaction with you though? Are they all just kind of like pinching your cheeks or whatever, like, oh, look at little Johnny here or whatever, or is it like, because some office environments can be callous, you know, like it can be. Was that something you were privy?
Like,
were you
don't
on
ever
the
get
inside
into
of that?
government, kid.
Yeah,
like
you know, or
dogs.
like were you in that, or were you just on the periphery of all that?
Well, it was interesting. I don't know why that they did like me. Like for multiple years after they tried, like my boss, her name was Misty. She was very cool. She's
Misty.
very,
Shout outs to Misty.
Shout out to Misty, friend of the pod.
with an I, which there's like a joke that I heard that was like if you end with it's supposed to be a Y, but it ends with an I or a stripper name, and I was like, Misty.
Not my Misty.
Not my Misty. She tried to rehire me multiple times, but like as you get higher into education, like and college, you're like you have to be taking a specific number of credits that relate to finance or something. And I was like,
right.
Yeah,
but it is like a really, especially with the state treasurer stuff, or like the state work, it's a very cushy job. It's like nice work if you can get it. And like it was very
you get
weird.
a fucking hour lunch.
Yeah, it's
When you're
really
getting
weird.
paid probably like just above minimum wage.
Oh, I think I made $9.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. And yeah, it was like really crazy, but people were like trying to like, they're like, welcome in, because it's like all you have like your own office and you just like sit there and like do nothing all day. It was lucky, but it was a really interesting insight into like state work, because at least in California, like you have to like take tests, you have to take like aptitude tests,
Right.
and to get into entry level, it's basically like math and like writing for some reason, and then the higher you get up, if like you get to management position, like I was helping my landlord study because she wanted to get my landlord, my parents' landlord.
Yeah.
She wanted to get like a higher up position, and like because she was like, oh, if I get this position, I could basically retire by the time I'm 50.
Right.
And she was like, it'd be great, like life made. And so like the type of things, she was like, you need to say specific sentences in regards to like management dealing with things. And if you don't say the sentences, you don't get the job.
Oh.
So she just had to memorize them. Very weird.
Like a specific incantation.
Yeah, specific bureaucratic. Exactly. Very, she was the eye in the castle. And
yeah. Like you say it, and then there's like paintings on the wall of like all the old governors, and they like all slightly turn towards you, and like, oh shit.
That question was right. That question was right.
Oh, approval from Bartholomew Jedediah. 1860.
Bartholomew and Jedediah,
ever the cheeky one.
4th governor of California.
There was an interesting story that my boss told me, because she was like, we basically use a lot of those big folders were in the basement, and they're like, she was like, oh yeah, that's basically the old treasury, like the old vault for the money. And she was like, originally, before they built the treasury back a long ass time ago, they had all the money at the Capitol, and then they built the treasury, and they had to carry all the money across the street, but they had literally like armed guards the entire way, like on top of each building to protect, because it was literally all of California's money being walked across the street into the basement vault of a new building.
Wow.
And now she's like, it's all digital now, so we just use that big vault for storage.
Oh man, there's just like old cups in there now.
It's like a really great episode of Storage Wars.
Yeah. They're like, oh wow, this is what you did before Venmo. Weird.
Weird. The what was the vibe of the office as a whole? Was it like, because I feel like state offices or like government offices, they're either, everybody thinks they're like West Wing, but they're really, a lot of times I feel like they're kind of just like smelly library.
Yeah.
They're sort of oddly quiet,
Gassy old people.
Yeah.
And like a potluck, just like, they would have meetings that I wouldn't be included in. So I would just like sit in my office for like 8 hours a day. But it just smelled like an old library.
Yeah.
It was, and like, like the kind of soul crushing, like big, like desks. And they had I forget in like New York, the centers of buildings that are like hollowed out. So they have windows so they can get sunlight.
Oh.
But like all you see is like, just like gray, like air conditioning units and like a dead bird. And you're just like, oh,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I would have, maybe John, maybe you're like this too. I would have to continually be making up scenarios, like to keep myself not from going insane in an environment like that. Like, I'd be like, oh, like all these old people I work with, like on their lunch, they're actually eating people. That's what they're eating, like this is a weird cult and they're all eating children. And like, but then I just snuck by and that's my life.
Yes.
So,
I mean, they had these memo pads that were used before email. And it was like, oh, from to, and you had like, just like send messages that way. And they had stacks of them because they got printed in, like excess, but then they switched to email. So they had so many that when I started working there, they just gave me a shit ton of them. They're like, yeah, so like you can write notes or whatever, like keep, I don't know, you need office supplies. So I was using those. and I was all I did was write joke ideas on them. And so I probably still have like a bunch of them, like strips and strips and strips and strips of paper of memo pads, just being like, isn't this funny? Like, da, 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 da.
What if numbers didn't match? You know, it's just about work.
Exactly.
Did you ever get feedback on your work? You know, like, I mean, I know Misty liked you, obviously, because that my experience when in office space where there's like one or two really young helpers is that like they get praised a lot, you know, for doing a very basic thing, but it's mainly because someone like Misty really doesn't want to do what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, you're organizing a thing and like not a single other person in this office would even stand for having to do the task that you actually have.
Yes, and it is a definite, like, I mean, I don't remember getting praised too much. I got in trouble once because I showed up really late because I missed the light rail and I didn't call, which sucked. But that was specifically like, yeah, it's basically just one big project that they were like, oh, this has been on the to-do list for a bunch of years. We need to get somebody in to just like do this. Yeah. And now there's just like an Excel spreadsheet that hasn't been opened since I left.
Right.
So it's like, you could really, I mean, it sounds way cool to be like, I wear the shirt. It's like, none of it mattered. And like, for the most part, none of it does matter because like it's state work.
Yeah, well, and speaking of Excel spreadsheet that never got opened, how far along in the project did you get? And then it just stopped? Like, is that what happened?
They told me that they're like, okay, like you're ending in like August or something, because we can't like pay you anymore. And I was like, but they were like, if you don't finish, you need to train the assistant, the office, our floor, the select department's like main assistant guy who's like the lowest on the rung. You need to train him how to do it. So I trained him a little bit how to do it. I'm pretty sure I got through all of it by the time I left, which was, you know, good. It's probably why they wanted to rehire me, because I just like made good progress.
Yeah, you actually did the job they asked you to do.
And then I got a letter of like, after I was fired, that was like, thank you for your employment from the state treasurer.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah, I still have it.
That's nice.
That's real nice.
Yeah. I do have like a horror story, because you said something, you're like, did you ever get praised? And I thought of the time that I got in trouble, but then I thought of the awkward time in the office is my manager, who I adore, and we still like stay in touch on Facebook basically. She brought her daughter to work one day, and I like swung by. It was like 8 a.m. and I like swung by and I was like, oh, your daughter's here. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have her do like office organizing, like ha ha ha, like stupid like office talk. Yeah. And I was like, oh, she's like your slave. And then but I was 16 and my boss was black. Sure. Okay. And I was like, no. And if I ever need residual cringy embarrassment from my life, I just think of that time that I said that one sentence. Sure. It will haunt me until the day I die. And she still likes me. Like she's like it was like not, it was like I'm dumb and 15, right? Or whatever. But it's the type of thing where it's like if I am having a bad day and I think about it, I'm like
yeah. An audible like a dusty cough comes out.
That memory some of the Sidlac file dust.
That venom is stored like in your spine somewhere.
You're just like, oh, he's like your slave, and then you're like, hey, you guys ever think about just shooting yourself in the fucking head?
I was like, can you open these windows wide enough to jump out of them?
Yeah.
We're only on the third
I went
story.
Down head first, would that kill me?
Third floor, you know? She's like, oh, these don't open. We've had problems.
We've had other people make that joke. We know these don't open.
I'm going to put my face in the toilet and just scream.
Okay. All right. So, all right, John, that was your first job. What would you say is the worst job you've ever had?
I worked at J. Crew for a season. That was pretty terrible because it was in the Arden Mall. Is that a Galleria? Is that a Westfield?
I guess so.
I think so. So it's like at a Galleria. It was the only J. Crew in like all of Sacramento. But people worked there for longer than the state treasury. They did not
What?
fucking leave. Oh,
Really?
they're like, the
That
manager's
was
been
not
there.
what I was expecting you to say.
No, the manager's been there for 13 years. I went in there like 3 years after I worked there, and everyone was still working there. So
Really?
it's like
The J.
people were
Crew?
upwards of 15 years. I was like, you are okay with working at the mall, like for your whole life? And like, I guess they take care of you, I guess, but it was that type of thing.
Do they? I mean, I've not like. Do they? I wouldn't think that they
Straight
do.
up, I don't know if I've ever been inside of a J. Crew. So is it cool?
Nick's not been in a lot of places.
No, what's insane is I could go into the J. Crew today and see the same socks that I bought 10 years ago.
Wow.
Not 10 years ago.
J. Crew,
Like,
I would say, is like, and I have bought my fair share of button-ups. But J. Crew, I would say, is like, it's
chambray?
What's up?
Like a nice chambray?
A chambray.
It's
like Banana Republic is the nice Gap. And I feel like J. Crew is just in between Gap and Banana Republic as far as like pricing, and again, style is very similar. It's just sort of like, yeah, do you want non-pleated khakis? Like, hop on into J. Crew. We got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
It was an interesting thing though, like working there, because for the most part, people just like the employees who've been there a long time don't talk to you. They don't look at you.
While you're working, they're not talking to you.
Yes, they. There was one guy who was the stylist. That was his employment at J. Crew, and he was exactly what you think, like a very fashionable gay man who wore like a tailored Ludlow J. Crew suit with a tie bar that matched his shoes.
Tie bar, get out of here.
Matched his watch. Bar. Every day came like impeccably dressed, but it's like almost not impressive because it's like you're still going to fucking pretzel on a stick for your lunch, or hot dog on a stick for your lunch, dude.
Yeah.
And he would literally like push me out of the way. Like I would be like trying to figure out how to work the system that we got trained for 45 minutes on, and it's like I'm like, and then he just pushed me out of the way, like let me do it. And I was like, do I still get the commission? But we didn't get commission.
Did you say what was your role? I mean, obviously you weren't the lead stylist or whatever, but like what was you weren't a cashier, or like what is there that division of labor in a J. Crew?
Yeah, I'm in seasonal hire. Like all you did was fold sweaters. I remember one time I wore like what I thought was a nice shirt, and they were like, is that knit? And I was like, what? And they're like, I was like, it's just a nice shirt. And they're like, don't wear that next time.
Oh fuck.
I was like, okay. Yeah.
Wow, dude. And then this guy's still just going to the food court.
And it's
next to the arcade.
Panda Express.
Yeah, dude. I was like, Arden Mall has too many shootings for you guys to be acting this way.
Yeah.
Acting like your shit don't stink.
What season are we talking? You said it was seasonal? Is it like holidays?
Yeah, holiday. And for the most part, it was just like, call and we'll tell you if you have a shift.
Oh, fuck, dude. That is,
yeah.
I hate that.
I would just be rejected every time. They're like, no, we don't need you, because who fucking shops at J. Crew? And like, then it was, I think like January 3rd or something stupid, and I forgot to call like my shift, and then so I got an angry call from the manager. She's like, I really wish you would have like answered, because we needed you that day. And it was like, and I come to find out that the only reason why would been brought in was to get laid off. She was like, we needed you to lay you off.
Hilarious.
Oh man, it's like I was really in the need of some kind of an emotional high, and I was gonna fucking get it from laying you off. So thanks for nothing, John.
Fuck you for your $9.50 and for 4 hours of work.
No customers. That's not the point, John.
That's besides the point.
Stop bringing up dumb shit, John.
I needed you.
I've had to sit and watch the stylist pull lint off of customers' shirts for an hour.
I wanted to fucking shit on your knit shirt.
Yeah. So when they told you not to wear that knit shirt, did you see them telling other people to not wear weird like stuff?
Yeah, were there other seasonal employees? That's my follow-up.
I think in our little group there were 4.
Okay.
And you were each just cowering in different corners of the store.
I only ever saw one of them. It was this little little portly girl.
Uh-huh.
She was very sweet. I actually ran into her in LA randomly, and I was like years
Yeah.
after we worked.
You made it out.
Yeah.
I was like, you made it, girl. She's but she was the type of,
she only has one eye now. She's like,
Oh my God.
she's like, I got
has
too
one
close
eye.
to the tie bar.
She only has one eye, but instead of an eye patch, she uses like a sweater, like a half sweater to go in there. A cardigan.
One of their shitty tacky jewelry pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting because we like were onboarded for oh, welcome, and they play like a J. Crew video that had some like shitty 2010 like fun pop song, and like, welcome to the J. Crew brand. And then
We're
after
J. Crew. Yeah.
after it was me and then this girl and then two other guys that I can't remember at all, like faces, names, anything about them.
Sure.
And she's like, do you guys all want to go get lunch at the Nordstrom? And I was like, and she's like, yeah, there's a cafe on this like third floor or something. I was like, what?
Disassociating.
Yeah.
Disassociating. I actually did go, and it was like a weird patio. I was like, we're overlooking the parking lot. It's like, Nordstrom's a trip, man.
That's tough.
And so you go there, you see him like doing coke, like it starts getting real weird.
It turns into a fucking drug den right when the Nordstrom closes.
Yeah, they're like, John, you like to party? Yeah. John, come on, John. You're like, whoa, this is starting to feel real siren songy right now. I'm just like,
be here for 15
John,
years, John.
You're so fun, John. We're all having a good time here at Nordstrom's. Like, I mean, that maybe, and that's why they all work at J. Crew for 25 years or whatever.
So
heroin.
I know you said that nobody talked to you, but like, was there a break room or anything? Like, I just got to imagine there were scenarios where you were face to face with somebody, and they either chose to speak to you or they did not.
Yes. I'm trying to think who actually spoke to me. There was a
couple of the cool guys.
There was like a 50-year-old black lady who was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think her name started with a G or something. Like, that's the thing. It's like, she said I was there like 8 hours a week for 2 months. Like,
sure. Yeah.
But these people, they were like, but it was funny to like, I worked at also C's Candies for like 2 years, and we did like the seasonal hire stuff too.
Sure.
And I was in charge of like training those kids. That's why I was so on board with the Sonic general manager. I was like, these kids are my passion.
Take them under your wing.
But I was like nice enough to them that even the one that like we gave 4 hours once a week to tell them we didn't like them, I was still nice to them. So it was just funny to go to J. Crew and have these people like, they've been there for 15 years. They're like, you're nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And it's weird. I was like, it just went to their head. Like, you know, that of the mall culture, people say that like the Apple store employees are the most hoity-toity.
Right, I'm sure. Yeah,
and so
very
it's like,
believable.
When I worked at J. Crew during the Christmas time, you had to like, there was only like a certain part of the parking lot you can park. And during like the weekends, you had to park at the Cal Expo, like fucking where they hold convention centers and shit, and take a shuttle in.
Oh my fucking God.
And they're like, if we see you park in the regular general parking, we'll boot your car.
Oh,
what
God. And that adds so much time to getting in it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the fact that these people have been there for so many years, I was like, okay, maybe it does make sense that these poor people have been doing the same rigmarole for 15 years, and they're like, they just don't have the energy to make eye contact with a sweet little boy.
Yeah.
Sure, but it sounds like it wasn't. I mean, certainly there was sadness there, but it doesn't. It sounds like they were on the high horse, you know. That they were just like, listen, I'm the fucking J. Crew, you know. I'm the crew. You know, you're the J. I'm the fucking crew.
Yeah. Like they're black ops of like collared shirts or whatever. Yeah,
we're the dream team here.
I think that because malls offer such a variety of stores, I think every mall employee tells themselves a little story about being a fish out of water, right? Like they all just like, no, I don't work at Apple. I mean, I don't work at the mall. I work at Apple.
Right.
So I think that like everyone does that, and it's like easier for like high school kids or whatever, or like younger people just to be like, yeah, I just work at the fucking mall. Who cares, or whatever. But when you've when you realize that there's not another ship coming in,
Mhm.
you're just J. Crew forever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I imagine like the cold of the heart, like
Those
it
people
becomes stone.
froze
imagine that's-
over.
And
They're
then you
just-
came in like your C's Candy outfit, like, hey, what's
No,
going
no,
on?
no. Exactly. It's like I think that they were clutching to whatever they could hold on to,
Uh-huh.
and
it's all
Apple
sweaters,
Store,
you know.
Exactly, all merino knits.
Mhm.
Apple Store was top tier, then probably Nordstrom, and then maybe Lush. Maybe Lush was like right below that, but then it's J. Crew.
Yeah,
J.
I'd say
Crew's
J. Crew's
still in the
pretty up
top
there.
5.
Mhm.
And like, can I say, like, during pandemic, I have been playing Tetris like a fiend,
Mhm.
and I've gotten pretty good at the time trial to get like high score. And in East LA, I'm usually in like the top 10,
Okay.
which
Nice.
is not great, but it's like, yeah,
Hey,
like,
no, respect it, respect.
yeah. So it's like, I was like, as long as I'm in the top 10 at the end of the day, I'm like, that's what I can cling to. And that's
Mhm.
exactly what these J. Crew people are probably fine during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're the crew.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, just what a sad life.
Yeah.
I hope they're doing all right. All of them. I really do. John, we always, before we close the podcast, we make sure to ask 3 questions so we covered all the bases. First one is, when were you done and how did you quit from this worst job? Which we know because, we don't have all the details here because you didn't come in to get laid off. And then what happened? Like,
well, I'm actually trying to remember because I do remember, because I think you have to kind of like paperwork your way out of it,
Sure.
like something.
Yeah,
but I don't think I
design
ever did
stuff.
that. I don't think I ever did that.
Mhm.
I really don't, because
you
they were
still
like,
work at J. Crew.
still work at Jake. I did get a check like a few years after for $2.93. That was like, it's like a class action lawsuit, and I was like, because you worked enough hours, you got to cut, dude.
That's great.
So-
You get a braided
Like,
belt.
yeah. What can I get for $2.93 from J. Crew?
Did you get an employee discount while you were in a seasonal?
Oh, it wasn't even good. I think on sale stuff it was decent. Like, if they're like, if we can't sell it, but like, honestly, when you're looking at a $15 pair of socks for one pair of socks, it's like,
They better be a fucking phenomenal pair of socks. And I'll be honest, I have bought phenomenal pairs of socks at that rate, but they were not from J. Crew.
And it's really funny because it's like J. Crew couldn't be a job because like you don't make enough money to really afford to offset. Because I did buy like a couple like shirts for people, but it was still like $25 for a shirt. Like, it's not cheap.
For the garbage money you're making, whatever discount it is, it ain't. If it ain't like, a 90% discount, you're still not gonna be able.
Exactly, because I think it was American Apparel. They're like, if you RIP. That if you work at American Apparel, your shift, you have to wear all American Apparel.
Yes.
But they give you a fat discount, like 50% off everything, essentially. J.
Which
Crew,
is what they should do. I mean, they should make you wear their clothes. I mean, I'd say it's basic marketing to make people look like the clothes.
Yeah, J. Crew is like, we're not giving you you don't have to wear J. Crew to be here, but you get 15% off.
15% ain't shit.
But it's nothing.
Especially in California, because sales tax is 10%.
It's crumbs. It's crumbs. I was like, I couldn't afford a full price anything there.
Yeah. So you just never signed anything, and one of these days, you're gonna get your retirement package, and then you'll be set.
Exactly. I was like, I make fun of these women for being there for 15 years, but it's been, I don't know, 8 at this point. I'm going strong.
Yeah. Okay, well then question number 2 is, what's one good thing you took from that very bad job?
Well, during this time, it was this like season, I was working seasonal at C's Candies, which it's like interesting to like the duality of at C's Candies, I was the favorite.
Oh,
like
so
I didn't work full time there.
At one,
I didn't.
The other one trash.
Exactly. Like I didn't work full time at C's Candies, but it was like, because C's Candies only has like 3 employees regularly, but I was number 4, so it was right.
I guess there's not that many employees that are required at a C's Candies.
Manager, assistant manager, stock lady, me. Yeah, and like even because C's Candies, when I worked there, they still didn't do the digital system.
Mhm.
So we had these old ass registers that you'd have to like enter in your code, and it print out like the shitty like paper receipts, and you'd have to enter your code. My code was number
C's
4.
candy is candy by weight. Is that the C's candies thing? Is it they're just like dispensing candy, weighing it, and then you charge them? Like what's the deal?
No, C's candies is like a pound of chocolate. And that's sort of like the classic gift that you give people, because C's candies isn't available. It's like In-N-Out Burger kind of. It's
Okay,
not readily available in most places.
Oh, okay. So this is their own proprietary stuff, and there's like a counter that you serve them from.
Yes, and so there's like a pound of chocolate. You can also pick what you want in the box of chocolate, which is very cool. But I worked at the one across the street from the Capitol, and that C's Candies pushed $1 million worth of product every Christmas season.
Right.
Jeez.
So it was nuts.
Yeah.
But I worked there during this Christmas season. I worked at a bakery like 2 blocks away, and then I picked up this J. Crew job. So I was working like 3 jobs and was the most tired I've ever been, because it would be like I would work a 6-hour shift at the bakery, and then I would go and do a 4-hour shift at J. Crew, and I was just running around. But one time I did a triple, and I was so tired at J. Crew. I was like folding a sweater, and I like got lightheaded, and this customer lady like saw me like stumble, and she was like, "You tell them you need to sit down. You tell them they need to give you a break." And I was like, "Thank you, ma'am." So that's like the one positive memory I have of
the one good thing is just that one kind
that
stranger.
one kind act. I was like, "Hey, that's actually." I mean, I would never, if I was to never be like, "You deserve it." I would never. But she did.
That's crazy that you. That's crazy that you had like you have this like cool kind of like, oh, we're so busy at the chocolate factory, I Love Lucy kind of like, oh, this is fun and endearing, right? And then you go over and it's like these other J. Crew assholes is like, are you pretending to have a French accent? Why are you being such a prick right now? It's such a crazy. I feel like that would mess with my head to have to go.
Do you have a pipe in your front pocket?
Yeah,
it's a delightful foil of being like, oh, all sweets for the holiday.
Like it's funny. Like the life you had there is like it would be like a Christmas movie where you get to work in Santa's factory at the end, because like, look at the honor that this young man has. Like you're all peppy and stuff, and then you just get shit on by big city life in the mall.
shit like ruined. It's actually like it was like, oh, the chocolate factory, like having a grand old time. Like I ate so much C's candies.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about being in school and working at a candy store is you can just fucking snarf that shit.
When you work at C's Candies, like, yeah, you could eat as much as you want while you're working. And it would get, so I would like go my way through, like I would have a favorite of the time for like a week or something, but it would get so bad. I would eat so many pieces that I was like, I need something like refreshing. So I would eat the like blueberry truffles or the lemon truffles, because I thought that was
such great kid logic.
I get some fruit in me.
I was like, and I remember getting home one day and like biting into an apple and being like, oh, fruit. Very different than the apple pie truffle that they have at C's Candies.
No wonder you were fucking collapsing into J. Crew. You were coming down.
I was going into diabetic shock.
Yeah.
Like you're for sure losing a foot.
And also I worked at a bakery, and if you closed, you got to take home everything that didn't sell. Croissants, donuts, bread, fucking I don't know how I made it out under 200 pounds.
I would say that working 3 jobs is probably one of them.
Yeah,
you know,
on your feet, baby.
Scampering between.
I was like, if you factor it in, the 10-minute breaks add up to 30 minutes if you have 3 jobs. So
bada bing, bada boom. Okay, well then, a final question, not related to that one kind person, J. Crew, who said you should have a break and then you didn't get one. We've been in a pandemic. Things have gone pretty sideways as far as dreams go. Yeah, it's crazy.
There's this whole thing that's been going on, John, while you were doing your Tetris tournament. This whole time.
While you were winning against all but 9 people. So how's that been going? What are your thoughts? You know, it looks like maybe there's going to be a vaccine or something. I mean, what's up?
Well, we talked about Tetris. I do the 100-person knockout like 40 times a day, and I can usually get usually in the top 15, sometimes top 10 of 100-person knockout. It's just I want to get better.
Yeah, always improving.
No, I think thinking about the vaccine is coming through, and I saw it, and it was like the vaccine got approved, and I was like, it's over, but it's not. Like it's like we still got thousands and thousands of people that are probably gonna die because of this. It's like we're getting like not enough. But I think this whole pandemic, I still worked. I work from home now, so I have a little desk set up, and I go to school, which. We'll see.
That's online or
all Zoom, all Zoom. And then I've been I used to do a guitar lesson once a week, and now I do it on Zoom twice a week. And so I'm getting.
Well, out of curiosity, what are you working towards something at this school, or are you just like schooling? No,
I transferred out. I finished community college during the pandemic, and they were like, hey, they sent me a mask. They're like, we know you don't get to graduate, but now I'm at a 4-year university.
Oh, okay.
And, so I go to Cal State LA because we're winners. But
do you have like a major or something that you're working towards? Like,
I'm doing like media journalism, writing type stuff. I guess that's media journalism is the department major. But I took these classes online. I was like, I didn't pay attention once. It's like there was a class that starts at 10 a.m. So I just listen on Zoom, and then there's an hour break, and then you come back at like noon. And I have forgotten to come back at noon half the time.
So many times.
It'll be like 3 p.m. and I'm just like on my computer. I'm like,
the class is over by now.
Class has been over I almost never came back. I apologized to the teacher. I was like, you're like,
fuck school, fuck.
But we should, before we wrap up, I should ask you, where do you want to be found on the internet, so that people can find you?
Okay, yes, you can find me on Instagram at Meryl Streep actor. Little known character actor, Meryl Streep. That was the best decision of my life to change that handle.
Absolutely.
You can find me on Twitter at Jon Gomora, I think. I tweet a lot more than I do anything else. Very problematic on there if you want to catch up. Cyberbully me.
And we'll put links to that in the show notes as well.
But yeah, my screen name on Twitter is Chody Foster. Oh fuck, hold on. I was thinking about changing it to Dysmorphia Coppola. Do you think that's a better screen name?
Chody Foster.
I used to be Flat Eartha Kit, and I have fun.
Yeah. Chody Foster is hard to beat. It's going to be real hard to beat. Well, Jon, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me.
And, fuck this place. Nick.
Chase.
Guess what?
Oh, don't tell me.
We got a write-in.
We got a write-in.
It's happening.
Man. Are they trashing us?
No, not this time. I mean,
good,
if anybody wants to trash us, you're welcome to trash us on the write-in. That's it's no problem. You want to argue about Papa Murphy's, no biggie. We want to talk about I don't know what else. So far the only combative text that we've gotten was regarding Papa Murphy's, and honestly, I think it was well deserved because we went in pretty hard on Papa Murphy's at one time. I believe that's at the end of is it the end of the Kyle Kinane episode? No, it's the end of the holiday episode.
Oh yeah, the holiday episode.
That Ben wrote in to defend. I would say gracefully. Papa Murphy's
a Christmas trashing.
A bit of a stalemate, I would say. Across the board, but.
I definitely think that we won, but
sure,
we called a stalemate.
Well, I think we won because we both have microphones. It's not exactly a fair fight in that sense.
I do remember though, and we should move on real quick. But I do remember his big argument was like, "But what if you just live close to one?" And it was like,
honestly, a very solid argument if you live close to one.
Close to one, yeah.
So, for those who live in close to Papa Murphy's, could be Ben. We salute you. Everybody else, you're gonna have to tough it out. You're gonna have to get other pizza that's already hot when it comes to your door.
You're gonna find other work to do by yourself, anyways. So.
Yeah. But yeah, if you do want to text the podcast or do a voicemail, but no one ever fucking does that. It's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. And with that, we should get into our write-in for today. Our write-in for today comes from Jason. And I'm hopeful this isn't Jason Webb, friend of the podcast, just calling to tear us apart. But Jason begins. I love the video with Kyle Kinane. I love the video with Kyle Kinane as well, to be fair. So we're starting on very similar wavelengths. He's my inspiration to try stand-up. Okay. Those Craigslist jobs are fucking whack. I completely agree.
Dude, totally. 100% so far.
Everything, we're on very similar pages. I found one once for a personal assistant for a legit millionaire in Bountiful, Utah. I wonder if Jason is describing it as Bountiful, Utah, or if this legit millionaire is describing it as Bountiful, Utah. I like to think that it's the millionaire. That's just that, like, in the post is like, welcome to Bountiful, Utah. He actually used Craigslist for this and interviewed me himself.
Oh,
okay. All right. Things are getting interesting. 15 per hour for cooking and cleaning, etc. A 10,000 square foot house. That's a big house. Real big house. Seemed creepy as fuck.
Okay. Yeah. We've seen that.
Yeah. Keep up the good work and good luck with your channel. I think he found us on YouTube, to be fair. Kinane Sanders 2024, which I assume he's referring to. Kyle Kinane and Bernie Sanders, who I don't think, to be fair, I don't think either of them are running for the presidential election in 2024.
Well, maybe they'll meet and be a little spark, Oh,
that's true. We don't know if they hang out together, if they're just like, we got to do something, we should like jam,
Yeah.
And Bernie's like, well, maybe where's your run for president?
The what was
but yeah, 15 per hour for cooking for a legit millionaire in Bountiful, Utah. Not enough cash.
No, not enough.
Jason,
Sorry, bud.
you are correct to round about face and just get out of there. And also creepy as fuck. I'd be curious, Jason, if you if you're listening,
creep details.
Yeah, if you got any creep details, if there was anything, whether we're talking cobwebs, or we're talking one of those Halloween spiders that come out in the doorway as soon as you open the door, and it goes like with the little eyes.
Yeah, a skeleton in a rickety chair.
Or a real life skeleton in a rickety chair. Yeah, could be that, or again, this legit millionaire could have just had weird eyes.
Smelling your hair. Yeah.
I mean, never been a part of a hair smell that was appropriate, I would say. So again, good for you, Jason, for backing out of that situation. I responded just as like as I always do.
You responded like he was a guy hitting on you and you're a girl that doesn't want that.
I was a little. Let me fair. Jason didn't give a ton of info here. So I did say, LOL, thanks, friend. Because anyone who writes in is a friend. Anybody who writes in is a friend of the pod.
I respect that. It is just a little bit like, man, hey, pal.
Yeah. No, okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I've been called buddy at a taco stand more than once. I understand that you don't fully trust me yet. I said, cool, if we read you right on the podcast. And also, what name would you like to use? He said, that's fine. I'm Jason. And then he also has another job. This is another reason I thought it would be important to add this. Also, the best fuck this place job I ever had is the post office, which for those who haven't listened to the Chaz Hawkins episode, number, I have no fucking idea. It's in the 50s probably. He was a contractor at the post office. So I don't know if Jason was a contractor or actually was a post office employee. Regardless, he had a real bad time as a contractor.
That job was hell on him.
It seemed real bad. He was also doing it pre-Amazon. So, I think maybe it wouldn't be better. It wouldn't be any better now. It'd be fucking awful now. Not only because after 7 hours and 58 minutes of work, you could, he told, I'm guessing, this manager or something. we need you to stay 4 more hours or you're fired.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah, that is a major fuck this place. You're at 8 hours and this person is saying, I need 4. We talked about this again. We talked about this a couple of times. Like there's a big difference between 2 hours and 4 hours at the end of an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
4 hours is 50% of the shift you just worked. But it's the only job that has ever coined a term for workplace mass murder. That is true. People do say going postal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can't argue with that. And then there's a quote, which I assume is from a coworker, that says, yeah, so if you see Big Mike laughing or smiling or carrying anything the size of, say, a shotgun, proceed immediately to the nearest exit. And I just want to say, if this was the same guy that asked you to stick around for 4 more hours, big fat fuck this place.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. I don't know. I'm very confused by this. I hope you're okay, Jason.
Yeah, we hope. Blink twice if you need help.
I just real quick before, like, I've always hated the idea of when jobs will say, like, look, you have to work this overtime or you're fired, or you're not approved for this time off. Like if you don't
or
show
else
up for it, you're fired. Because it's like, you understand both those scenarios end with you not getting what you want either, and now you have to hire a new guy. It's just like, no, I'm not going to work the extra 4 hours, and also you're not going to fire me because you don't want to hire someone else.
Correct.
You know, it's just like, but the only thing that works is if you just be cool.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Just be cool about this. Maybe ask me for 2 hours, like you said, 2 hours at the end of my shift. You might get it.
And I think, perhaps Jason is correct that these people are not going to be too cool, considering they are pretty cavalier about workplace violence, I guess. So that sounds real bad, Jason.
Yeah.
You
feel like no crime you hear about happening at a post office would ever surprise you. You know, like there's no like. I don't know that there's a crime that that you're like.
Well, it's because the post office is a meeting place of so many people. You know, it's not just the people who work there, but it's just like the post office is like, it's the bus stop that nobody can avoid. I mean, I know that we're not like stamps.com sponsored here, but I guess that some people, the Mark Marons of the world, can never go to the post office ever again. But for the most part, I would say. Even like some 1%ers are sometimes going to end up in the post office, Yeah,
absolutely.
It's and it's just like you just can't get away from it. And the bus stop is a place where cuckoo things can happen too, or on a bus, but you're not going to have too many Lexus drivers, but you're going to have that at the post office, and you're going to have their sense of entitlement, like their sense of, I believe this should go a certain way, mixed with bus stop rules, which is anything goes. Let's just try and hold it down until we all get out of here,
Yeah.
Seems like a bad place. Seems like a real bad place.
Yeah.
So I'm very sorry, Jason, although we would like to know again, if you would care to, you are now a friend of the pod. I'm curious about how spooky that house was.
Yeah, I'd like to know how spooky it was or how creepy it was.
And I mean, it seems to me like maybe you got to see it or maybe not, because like seem creepy as fuck might be you just had an interview, which is fine.
Yeah.
But give us the creep factor.
Like, during the interview, you're in the house and you look over and you think you see someone looking at you from the closet, but you don't know. Like that kind of
it's just a reflection of yourself,
Yeah.
But like you're 70 years older and like somehow getting even older and older, and like skin's coming off your face.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like, that's pretty creepy. Yeah.
And not for 15 an hour, 25 maybe.
Yeah. 25 maybe I'll be creeped out for that.
So, fuck those places.
Yeah, fuck those places.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks again to Jason for writing into the podcast. If you want to do it, you know how. It's 470-223-5627. That's 470-223-5627. You don't want to write in? Guess what? You can leave a review anywhere you want. Put it on a piece of paper. Toss it into the wind. I'm sure we'll hear it. Or in your favorite podcasting app. That's fine too. Okay, that's it. Bye for now.